Hi, I'm Sam Hausman. I directed, wrote, edited, DP'd, acted in Cardboard Time Machine.
My name is Sean Cameron Dalton. I played 3 roles in Cardboard Time Machine. One is just the character Sean. I also played Inner Self and The Universe. And I also scored the movie, so I wrote all the music.
So I was taking a shower and I kind of had this idea just for this door, this ethereal door. And then I got out and I quickly scribbled it down, and then it just kind of went into another scene and then another scene, and then it just kind of led into a script that I'm pretty proud of.
The filming process took place right in the middle of COVID. So it was basically Sam and I on set, which was my apartment at the time. And it was just the 2 of us. We set up the shots, we would run lines. Almost every scene is me talking to myself. And so Sam would be behind the camera running the lines of the other character so that I would have something to act against.
By the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea. And cut.
And in some extreme cases, I would just have to kind of know both sides and mime it. But that's how most rehearsals went. We would film all the sides, all the shots of me, and then I would get into the Inner Self costume, and we'd film all the shots of Inner Self, and then Sam would, go into a studio and edit it together to look like it's 2 people talking to each other.
Sean did such a great job with his acting. He made it so much easier, but on the technical side, any kind of camera movement had to be meticulously planned out, or any kind of mistake meant that we had to go back to the first take of that shot and then reset everything again and reset everything again. So there's a lot of resetting if there was any kind of mistakes.
It got easier as we went along. Sometimes we would have a marker or some sort of placeholder for me to look at, just, so I wasn't just diverting my eyes in every direction. I had something to focus on. It was very weird. Sometimes we would have the 2 characters in the scene, both me, looking at each other, but also focusing on an object. So there were times when I would get to briefly maybe look at whoever I'm supposed to be talking to, but then I can look at, this book that we're reading or some sort of prop that we're interacting with. So there are little places here and there that I got to cheat by saying my lines, like normal conversation, but looking elsewhere. But otherwise, a lot of it was just trying to keep in mind what I did with the previous take so I could play off of myself. Well, we had our moments, I'm not gonna lie. He forgot his lines constantly. But he was fun. We had a lot of downtime, and I liked the apartment. It was a really cool place. I think it was the very first day of shooting, when I was dressing up in the Inner Self costume for the first time. Sam told me that he gave me the direction that I should try and seduce myself.
I want you to seduce yourself.
All right, I'll try that out. And then he said, all right, let's do the scene. And pretty much everything that came after was based off of that one thing that he told me. It actually was kind of easy because we would start filming a scene and I would be really, revving to go, really excited to do it. And then by the end of it, I'm tired. So I think just how I felt in the moment also helped capture both personalities. It was good. Sam was a good director. He had a great story. It was really nice of him to give me the lead role. I know Sean and I were both gunning for it, but I won in the end. I don't think he took it too personally.
Yeah, I think the hardest shot in the whole movie is this very simple looking shot where Inner Self comes in and brings Sean some milk. Now, with that, there was camera movement, an object that both Sean and Inner Self had to interact with that was moving, and having all of that together was kind of difficult. And on top of that, there's also a really big mirror in the shot. So having all of that spliced together was pretty difficult.
We started making actually making Cardboard Time Machine like the first of 2021. During like Christmas break right before that, Sam had sent me his script and I had been reading it, and you know, he was making changes leading up to filming, but it was in a good place where we were confident to start with the production.
This was such an interesting project that we did. It was our COVID project where Sean and I wanted to make something, but we didn't feel comfortable having the whole crew together, which meant that on us, there was a lot more pre-planning involved, where every shot had to be perfectly and meticulously planned out so that we can make sure that we could go on set and get it in a couple of tries. And we even had to figure out like solutions to how are we going to do sound? How are we going to light? How are we going to do all this with just Sean and I? And I think there was just like a lot of creative solutions that we came up with that now we can go into our next projects and have some creative solutions and be able to act on our toes a little bit more. I think it's a really cool, like, inspirational piece for both myself and other filmmakers that you don't need a whole crew and millions of dollars, thousands of dollars even, to produce something, a story that you want to tell. You just have to have the willpower to do it and the time to be able to plan it out.